my G's merging. All my bitches working and I keep it certain. Then my rhymes urban, put it in my big pocket. Niggas never worth shit. Black Birkin and I'm back working. And my G's merging. All my bitches working and I keep it certain. Then my rhymes urban, put it in my big pocket. Niggas never worth shit. I'm going in hard, I feed to my own guards. That's when we're the big star. I shop in them big cars, ready to make a ward. I pop you from a star. Don't blame me if I made it. Fuck up shit, I'm Lamar. The money I'm counting now, just rhyming your ticket. I'm from the overseas, coming if I want it, I pick it. For satisfaction, remember when I had to clip it. Bet I'm the beast now, I can switch the whole clicker. Too blessed, only move for the check. Flow hard to compute myself. Nice to see me, but y'all never tap. And I'm too busy for the whole lot of cap. Pulling up outside, putting it like I'm not side. And I'm killing with my rap, and I'm running my side. Got me Black Birkin, and I'm back working. And my G's merging, all my bitches working. And I keep it certain, then my rhymes urban. Put it in my big pocket, niggas never worth shit. Black Birkin, and I'm back working. And my G's merging, all my bitches working. And I keep it certain, then my rhymes urban. Put it in my big pocket, niggas never worth shit. We're falling apart though when I bang you make it step though. Right, your friends I call them sensors. No one lawyer, she gets mad though. Give a pick a seller let go. No more copy for go. Blow it like machine while my fluffy ass with go. Open the dictionary, rap binary, 3, 6, 9 and then back Hillary. Left you homeboys in the same misery. Moving on a bit so I don't need memories. Yeah, Black Birkin and I'm back working. And my G's merging, all my bitches working. And I keep it certain, then my rhymes urban. Put it in my big pocket, niggas never worth shit. Black Birkin and I'm back working. And my G's merging, all my bitches working. And I keep it certain, then my rhymes urban. Put it in my big pocket, niggas never worth shit. Get away, get away, get away, get away. Queen bee. Yo, let go. Black Birkin and I'm back working. And my G's merging, all my bitches working. And I keep it certain, then my rhymes urban. Put it in my big pocket, niggas never worth shit.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Kayla Lachey, aka your virtual fitness bestie, and today has been quite an emotional morning for me. I've gone down memory lane just looking back at like my past 3 years when it comes to my fitness journey. So with that reflection and just looking at the ups and the downs and like how I had plateaus and just like my mindset mentally going back to that space is overwhelming. So I kind of wanted to go through and write down my thoughts and my timeline on my fitness journey and just my overall transformation over these last 3 years. And I hadn't even realized it was 3 years, like almost exactly 3 years, you guys, that I began my journey until I was looking at my weight log and like my body measurements and all of that. Like just looking at that, oh my gosh, like I haven't even looked at the photos and I can only imagine what I'm gonna feel like when I do scroll to add those into this video today. But I hope you guys are interested in hearing my experience, and I can already tell this might be a longer video, so maybe pause, get yourselves a snack, because we're gonna start all the way back until like quarantine days. Yes, quarantine. Y'all remember that? I try to forget quarantine. Okay, a lot of trauma comes to me when I think of doing at-home workouts again, because that's all I literally did was at-home workouts in quarantine. So I don't know, like my mindset then was so different to how I feel now, and I guess that's a part of the journey. Like you're gonna grow in more ways than one, not just your physical appearance, but mostly like your mental mindset will have like a huge transformation, and that's something I did not consider would happen when I started my journey. But I remember feeling in quarantine just, I don't know, like ugh, like I don't want to be skinny anymore. I don't want to have this thigh gap. I'm tired of having no butt. I'm tired of just feeling honestly less than a woman. I didn't have like this curvy figure. I didn't fill out my jeans, you know, like I just didn't feel sexy when it came to my body. I already had no boobs, no butt, you know, like it was just like very, very small. And I remember being my lowest weight. I was 127 at that time. And that was like my lowest I have ever been, I think, in my life, because prior to quarantine, this is outside of that 3-year journey, by the way, but just to preference like where I was at physically, like I was probably my heaviest around 148, and then I lost a bunch of weight because I got really active and I was just doing a whole lot of cardio. I was always on the treadmill. I didn't know anything about fitness. I didn't know anything about working out. I lived in LA and I loved being outside. I loved going on long hikes. I loved, you know, being under the sun and just being outside and outdoors. It was just very grounding for me. So I was always hiking almost daily. So I had a very much so like runner's body, I guess. Like I just looked slim, no muscle, no curves, just very like, I don't know, just lean and petite, I guess you could say. And I'm not a short petite person, but like my legs were so long, and they still are, that I had no weight to like really fill it out. Like I just I don't want to be like hard on myself, because that is me at the end of the day, but that's how I felt, is just very skinny and just like lean and like long twig legs with no meat on her bones, no butt. Like as a black girl, girl, you ain't got no butt. I always heard that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Like it just was not good for my confidence. So I just basically told myself, I'm tired of feeling like this. I want to gain some weight. I want to get thick, you know, like, I don't know, like that was just very much so my mindset in quarantine at that time. So that's where we kind of started this whole weight gain journey. And that's what I consider my fitness journey really starting, is because I took the time to figure out my goals. What was it that I actually wanted to work towards? How am I going to get there? I try to do my research and I try to create a plan for myself. And that's kind of like where the journey started. So in quarantine, I tried my best to scatter around the city and find whatever dumbbells I could get, because the gyms were all closed. And at that time, I only had access to like my apartment gym. Like I never had a gym membership. So I was like, okay, well, if I can't go to the gym downstairs, I'm gonna have to go get some dumbbells and start getting some weights so I can lift. Okay, so I got like a couple of dumbbells. I went on Amazon. I bought myself a stepper. I got this foldable treadmill, you know, for my little studio apartment. Okay, I was really trying. I got a yoga mat. I got like all these things. I got a jump rope, things that could help me assist that journey of working out. I even went and bought some supplements at the time, because protein was something that I knew that you needed to make muscle mass. And I even decided to order supplements at that time for my at-home workouts, because that's what everybody was doing. So I went to EHP Labs and I bought myself the Oxy Shred Non-Stim Kiss My Peach, and I still love that flavor so much to this day. Like it's one of my favorite because it's not caffeinated. And for at-home workouts, I didn't feel like I needed to do insane pre-workout, and it was also like a fat burner, so I felt like, okay, this is gonna be good for me so I don't get like too thick too fast. And then I also remember buying a bundle of the Bless protein, because I was dairy free at the time, still am, and I remember getting the strawberry milk. I got the s'mores flavor and the birthday cake they had. Oh, that was so good. They need to bring that back. This was all before I was sponsored by them, but I'll talk about that later in this journey. So yeah, I got my supplements, I got my workout gear, things that I needed, and I was also buying activewear because I was like, you know what? I want to feel cute. So I started buying Gymshark, and then I came across like Alpha Elite at the time around Black Friday 2020. That's when I shopped Gymshark's Black Friday sale, bought a whole bunch of Adapt Animal and camo stuff, and then the Alpha Elite Amplify like I just was that girl. I was becoming that girl in quarantine. I'm telling you, like there was nothing else to do but stay home. So might as well work on ourselves at the end of the day. So yeah, let's talk about my starting measurements because I actually have a log of that, April 27th, 2020. I can't believe I have this information. This is proof that you should be documenting everything that you feel like you can mentally. If it's good for you, take those pictures, weigh yourself, measure yourself most importantly so that you can compare them later down the line. Because my starting weight was 127 pounds. I had a waist of 26 inches, my glutes were 37, and then my thighs were 21 and a half. So that's interesting now. I honestly need to update my measurements and I'll share those at the end of this video so we can kind of compare the difference. And yeah, so that's where I began. I was really excited about the journey. I was like, let me measure myself and weigh myself so I can look back at this point in time and see how far I've come. And let me tell you, like, I never had a plan prior to this. I never really stuck to anything, and I just wanted to really commit. I wanted to throw myself all in and just see what happens and not give up on myself. And that was really the moment that I told myself, like, we're going to actually do it and we're going to do it as best as we can without giving up or without stopping. Because I used to do that all the time, like, oh, I want abs, so let me try an ab workout routine, or oh, I want to lose some weight. That would last maybe a month and then I would just forget about it and I wouldn't really have those healthy habits of eating good and moving my body. But like this time, like something felt different. Like I really wanted to be determined and have that discipline and just really actually try and see what would happen. And I wasn't really scared of the results that would come, like if I got fat, for example. Like I wasn't really scared like I was in the past. Like something in my mind mentally was just different. Like a switch just clicked for me that I don't need to be scared. We're just going to try and we're just going to give it our all and see what happens. So I actually ended up downloading MyFitnessPal on my phone at this time because if I was going to do it, I told myself I was going to do it the right way. I was going to be tracking my food, making sure that I was eating enough protein because that's what everything said that I was reading is you need to eat a lot of protein to build muscle, and that was definitely my goal. And if you wanted to gain weight, you needed to eat a lot of food essentially, and I always had a small appetite, so that was really the hardest part for me, was making sure that I was eating enough. But I found it to be extremely helpful to log and track and weigh my food. I bought a scale on Amazon, a food scale, and that really helped me out as well, just to really know like I'm doing this and I'm doing it the right way. That's also why I wasn't really scared to get fat like my old self would have been, because I knew that I was doing it the right way, and that really helps me mentally just be in a better headspace. So fast forward to July 2021, I started to make gains. I was gaining weight, you know, starting at 127, I was now at 135, and my glutes also grew, and they grew about 1.5 inches. They were coming in at 38.5 inches. So I was already seeing some gains, and I think when you're doing something, in my experience, for the first time and it's different from what you've been doing, you're gonna see a lot of progress in a shorter period of time because you're kind of shocking your body and you're doing something that your body isn't used to doing. So of course you're going to see results, and that's exactly what happened with me. Is I started to see results from just doing at-home workouts, and I wasn't doing anything crazy. Like I was extremely limited, but I was also a beginner. So I was, you know, working muscles I've never worked before. I was using a lot of bands because that's the only thing I really had to add resistance to the exercises, those staple exercises like squats. You know, I was trying to do hip thrust with my little dumbbell. I think I had 35 pounds was the heaviest dumbbell I had. So I was really trying to double up on the bands with the dumbbell to really get that resistance with the exercises. I was doing lunges. I was trying to do step ups. Like looking back at my quarantine workouts, it's traumatizing. I should honestly try to do a quarantine workout for the sake of a video just for laughs because I would be interested to see how I feel doing it now. But yeah, I got a lot of results really quick with eating my protein, taking my OxyShred, and doing my at-home sessions in a short period of time. So let's fast forward to October. You know, a couple months later, I was still gaining weight. I ended up weighing in at 137.8. So that's a pretty big jump, going from 127 to 139 in that year. Basically, I put on 12 pounds in 7 months in quarantine. Oh my goodness. Like, just thinking about that now, that's a lot of growth. Also, during this time, I realized that cardio was something I needed to stop doing. Okay, so I love being outside. I loved going on my hikes, especially with, you know, Rona and stuff. Like, really, that's all you could do was be outside. That's what they said, and stay at home. So I stopped using my treadmill as much. I stopped trying to get as many steps because I was burning more calories, and I realized I have to eat those calories back that I'm burning. So let me put a pause on doing all this cardio. Let me go on less hikes in a week instead of going every day. Maybe go a couple of times out of the week and do that as my workout instead of doing cardio and strength training at home. So I cut back on the cardio because I really wanted to get thick quick, so that really gave me results as well, not trying to burn as many calories, and I had to understand that. So now we are in 2021. Okay, like, quarantine's pretty much over with. Okay, like, the gyms kept opening up for maybe a week and then closing and to shut down again. So it was just very up and down in this awkward period of time. I just felt like I was hitting like a plateau in my results and in my journey. Like, I was excited because, oh, the gym is open again. Finally, I can really kick this into high gear and use all my research and actually implement it into what I'm doing. But then I got demotivated because, oh, we're going back into lockdown again. And I was like, oh, great. Now I have to go back to at-home workouts in my studio apartment. And I just felt like my results weren't really giving me what I was expecting to see. Now, let's fast forward to April 6th. 2021. I remember that day like literally yesterday because I finally moved to Virginia from LA after coming out of lockdown. It wasn't as restricted here as it was there because in LA the gyms were still locked down, but in Virginia they were open. So I was like, yay, finally we can actually get a little membership to the gym in the community. It wasn't like a public gym or like a real gym, but it was still a start. It was still something better than what I was doing in quarantine days with limited weight and limited movement and space to do what I needed to do. And it was nice. It was finally like a fresh start for me to like do things the right way and actually lift heavy weights while also having a good diet. I felt like in quarantine I was focused more on my diet and eating more, not as much on the weight training aspect. So now I could fully focus on the weightlifting and also the combination of a diet where I felt like, wow, we're gonna get insane results. So in July of that same year, I was up to 137 pounds and my glutes were still the same, like 38.5 inches. Because in quarantine, I was fluctuating a lot with my weight and then just my overall growth. So it was kind of, like I said, a fresh start to really just give it my all again. So in October of that year, I was up to 139.8 pounds. So at this point, I'm steadily going up. And I love that. I always wanted to be very controlled with this journey. Like I said in the beginning, I wasn't really scared to get fat because I knew that I was going about it the right way. I wanted to go slowly. I wanted to go very controlled, which is why I was tracking my food and I was working out consistently. And I wanted results that were actually going to last, that weren't just going to be, oh, a quick result this month and then next month your results are gone. I wanted to build muscle and actually keep that muscle. And that's exactly what I was doing. And I'm happy I went about it that way. You can kind of call it like a lean bulk. And you're just bulking in a slower way, a slower capacity than if you were to do a full bulk and you're eating way more really quick. Those would give you quick results, but it's also harder to maintain that because you have to eat that much constantly to keep that weight on, if that makes sense. And then in December of that year, guys, I was so excited because I finally started creatine. I had done a lot of research on creatine, like what is creatine? How do I get it? What's the best type of creatine? How do you use it? Side effects of creatine? Like, I was really just deep diving into all these articles about creatine, and I was watching reviews on creatine, people's results on creatine, and I was like, I need this creatine now. So I got my hands on creatine. I started taking creatine. How many times can I say the word creatine? But really, it transformed my entire journey from this point. December 17th, 2021. Thank you. Because wow, if I knew about creatine in quarantine, I feel like my results would be even more insane than they already are. So at this point, I was already taking it for 3 months, and I actually did a video on YouTube and I documented creatine from like day 1 to 3 months later. So if you want to watch that, I will link it in the cards. I think I will do a video on 2 years of me taking creatine because I'm still on creatine till this day, and I've been taking it for over 2 years, and I think it would be interesting to do an updated video on this channel because I don't have one on this channel. If you guys would be interested, but we're not going to get into all the details here because that would take forever. But yes, essentially you just need to know that me taking creatine was the best decision I ever decided to make. It is still by far my most essential supplement, my favorite supplement, and the supplement that I have the most noticeable results with. So get some creatine because the glutes were gluting, you guys. So now we're into 2022. Okay, it's January at this point, and I weighed in at 143.6, and I felt like my glutes were at a plateau. Like, keep in mind, I've already been on creatine for what, 4 months now, and I already got the creatine beginner gains, if you want to call it that. Like, once the creatine gets into your system and you're taking it continuously, like, you're gonna see instant results. And that's exactly what I got. But I felt like, okay, my results kind of stopped at this point. So like, what the heck's going on? Because I weighed in January at 143.6. So I'm still like making gains from the end of last year. I had put on 4 pounds in 4 months, okay, while also taking creatine. And, you know, I got those beginner gains, those beginner results from trying something new, and I love that for me. But then I kind of felt like, okay, I'm kind of stuck. Like, I wasn't really seeing much growth after maybe like 4 months. Keep in mind, I'm still going to this gym here in my community. It's very limiting. I didn't really have like everything that I wanted, especially when it came to lower body. Like, there were so many machines, guys, I was missing out on. That gym only has like 6 45-pound plates. 6 45-pound plates was all I could use with hip thrust, and I was maxing out on the leg press, and I think it only went up to 360 pounds. I was maxing out on that. I didn't have access to those staple machines like the hip abductors that really target the glute area. There wasn't a lot of floor space to do setups for things like hip thrust, and if I wanted to do deadlifts, like, everything was just so cramped and so tight. There just wasn't a lot of machines there for me to access, and I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't really able to make those gains that I wanted to because I wasn't able to progress. So yeah, at this point, we're in summer of 2022, okay? Like, I stopped logging consistently, but I remember I was really focused on eating a lot, and I did a dirty bulk actually in the springtime of 2022. I was eating at Chick-fil-A twice a day, breakfast and dinner. Okay, I was going to Chipotle. I was getting chips, guac, a burrito with extra chicken, a lot of calories, okay? I was also eating a lot of fatty, quick meals, like frozen meals from like Trader Joe's. And I was in and out of tracking my food. I wasn't as consistent of tracking as I was when I was in quarantine. So at this point, I just wanted to get thick real quick, and that's the difference between doing a lean bulk that I was doing to switching to a dirty bulk, because you're just eating a whole lot of food and a whole lot of the wrong foods, a whole lot of greasy, processed, fast foods. So I felt uncomfortable in my body at this point, specifically in my stomach area. I just vividly remember being at the beach in Virginia Beach in a bikini and me not wanting to take off my cover up. I had like a matching 3-piece bikini from Shein, and it had this mesh skirt, and I didn't want to take off the skirt in the ocean. Like, I don't know, like, I always had that skirt on because it covered up my belly area. And it is just such a mind fuck, man, when you think back and look back now on those videos, there was nothing wrong with how I looked. I wish I was that thick today because if I told myself, girl, you are beautiful, like this is exactly what you wanted result wise, I would have been in a much better mental headspace. But for some reason I just felt fluffy and I wasn't as toned as I wanted to be. But the lower body was thick, okay? So I decided to go on a cut. After that trip, I said, I'm going on a cut. I'm doing more cardio now because at that point I wasn't doing a whole lot of cardio in my routine. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling good and sexy in my skin, which is so sad to say when you actually look back. So on my cut, I actually lost quite a bit of weight because like I said, I was doing a lot of cardio and I don't have an appetite like that. So it was so easy for me to cut back on eating as much as I was eating, and I wasn't eating out as much as I was eating out. Like as me, it is a blessing to lose weight because I don't have to do anything, baby. It is just such a breeze. So summer came, summer went, and now we're in October. Okay, like I had lost a lot of weight. I got Rona a couple of times. That was not fun. I was sick for like 2 weeks each time. No appetite, in the bed, sleep, headaches, body aches, all that. It was just like not motivating for me at all. And that was after a cut. So I was already small from that. Then I got sick and I got even more small. Then October, somebody decides to break the Smith machine at the gym. They don't fix that for a couple of months. I want to say 2 to 3 months that thing was broken. That was a staple thing that I was using. That was like the heaviest lifts that I was doing from my squats and my split squats, my lunges, my hip thrust, maxing out with all the plates. So without that, I had to change my workout routine and I was doing a lot of dumbbell focused exercises. So in a sense, it was good because I was able to kind of shock my body with doing workouts for a significant amount of time that I wasn't doing before. So I remember I was really loving step ups with the preloaded bar. I was doing a lot of walking lunges at that time. I was doing a lot of hamstring curls that I wasn't doing before. And I actually started to use the free bar. I had to like come up with space and a setup to have when the gym was dead to try to do hip thrust for the first time. And that changed everything for me because I was so scared of like the bodybuilder workouts where you set up a bar and you're putting plates on and you have to figure out what the form is and the mind muscle connection. Like that was a scary time for me, but I told myself if I want to see growth and I want to get out of this space where I had lost basically all my gains, I had to start over again because I don't like how I feel. I really lost my glutes. I was just so skinny. I had low energy. Like it was just like the ultimate low, bottom of the barrel. Starting over, okay? So I wasn't even tracking my weight at this time because it was not healthy mentally for me to see how much I've lost. I could just look at myself and tell. Rona will do that to you, okay? Broken equipment in the gym will do that to you. So after having like this new implemented workout routine, like I was feeling really good. I started to feel like I was gaining weight again. I started to kind of track in and out again, but my main goal was just to cook more at home. I stopped buying pre-cooked chicken at Wegmans for $25 for 4 pieces, and I started to bake my own chicken at home. I started to buy more produce. I started to actually take my greens powders and be healthier instead of doing a dirty bulk again like I was doing the summer before because I know how crappy I felt. I said, let's do a bulk, kick it in high gear, but actually eat good foods and cook foods at home and have my rice bowls and high calorie meals. Okay, so that's something that I did a complete 360, or is it a complete 180 from the year before? And I was feeling really good. I was starting to finally feel like, sorry, my thing cut off. I was starting to finally feel like I was getting results again. And I was finding that motivation again to get back into the gym, even though there was still broken equipment. So that happened. Now we can fast forward to March 26th of 2023. And this is when I really felt like, okay, now I can start over again, because I accidentally fell into getting a gym membership with Kalila, which is one of my good friends that I've known for over like 10 years. And she convinced me to join this gym because she had asked me one day, like, hey, do you want to work out with me this weekend? I'm gonna join this gym. And it was nowhere near my house, and I was like, okay, cool, it's the weekend, we're gonna link up, do something outside of just eating like we usually do, and I was down for it. And after going to that gym with her, which I have a vlog on this channel, it changed everything. Like, I didn't know what I was missing out on because I was so limited in my community gym, that now I had access to all these crazy, cool, interesting lower body workout machines. This cool environment that felt like a club, but mixed with the gym atmosphere, filled with people that looked like me around my age. I said, sign me up. Like, immediately got a membership, and I loved it. So that was just a great eye-opening experience that really broke the ice and got me out of my comfort zone, knowing that, okay, I'm gonna be in this new gym environment, and I already have a friend here that's gonna join this gym with me. Took a lot of that gym anxiety away of just doing everything again for the first time alone. Like, I didn't feel alone because we would link up and do workouts together every now and again, even now. So that was really the point that I felt like, okay, we're starting over again. Like, this is the fresh start that I need to really kick this journey into high gear, stay focused, do things completely differently, create a new plan, workout plan for myself, and really focus on eating good. So that was a couple months ago, you guys. 3 months later, today, present day, we are killing it, okay? I am now at 40.5 inches on my glutes, which is 3.5 inches of growth from the beginning of this journey. And as of today, I weighed in at 145 pounds. Still not as heavy as I was in the summer last year. I think I was fluctuating up until like 150 last summer, which honestly I would love to get back to that place because that was my thickest. And I mean, now looking back, I'd be so happy to be at that space. Now I think I weigh 145, 146, which is amazing after being at my new gym for 3 months now. And I have a proper routine there that I'm motivated and excited to do. And I'm really focused now on just eating as much food as I can eat in a day. I haven't been tracking my food consistently again like I had when I was in quarantine days. I think I'm just a little bit easier on myself. I'm a lot kinder to myself on this journey and not putting so much pressure to be perfect on this journey in the sense of doing everything the right way. And that's how I started my journey, and I'm glad that I did because I learned a lot in that time period. But now I've taken all that knowledge and that experience, and I've realized, okay, we know a lot more now. We know better now of what works and what doesn't work. And I'm just trying to eat and eat intuitively, eat until I'm full, but make sure that I'm actually eating a lot more throughout the day versus like not waiting to eat until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I forgot to mention that I was doing like intermittent fasting unintentionally, like in quarantine days, because that's when like I wouldn't really be hungry. But I had to tell myself and teach myself we have to actually start eating earlier and more throughout the day. And that's still something I struggle with, is the appetite part. But you know, as long as I can just eat as much as I can eat, that's all I can do. And I had to realize, like, you're doing the best that you are. Like, you can only do but so much, but you're trying and you're doing more than what you would have done. So that really brings me a lot of peace of mind, just knowing that I'm trying my best every day. And I'm going to the gym and I'm working out consistently, hitting legs at least 3 times a week, and still doing upper body to maintain that overall fit physique. And I'm still working towards the same goal of building that curvy, womanly figure. And I have so much more confidence now, and I'm actually seeing those results in real life. And at first, like, I wasn't seeing what I wanted to see, and it was mentally challenging. Like, what's the point? Like, I'm stuck in this space, I'm not seeing any growth. And that's what happens when you're in a plateau, right? So you have to switch things up. And once I started taking creatine and I got in and out of the gym and switched gyms and I started to eat more foods, eat more of the right foods, it wasn't until then that I actually started to see the results that I always wanted to see for myself. And that's just the journey. Like, you're gonna have those moments where you mess up, you slip up, you're down. That's a part of the whole process, and there's so much beauty in the process, and it kind of is a part of that transformation mentally and physically and emotionally. You'll start to see yourself in a completely different light, and the confidence that comes from this is worth it alone. And having that patience, that discipline for yourself and doing it for yourself changes everything. It changes your entire perspective on the journey itself. And like, the way that I feel now is probably gonna feel different than me a year from now, and I look back on older photos. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly what happened with me in the past. So you're gonna have different mindset shifts throughout their journey as well, and that's okay. Soak it up and enjoy the process for what it is. And my biggest tip, and what I wish I learned and I'm happy I had, was the patience throughout this entire journey. Because the patience is something that you can't buy. You have to just have it and accept it and go day by day, week by week, year by year, and just try your best. That's all you can really do. Don't rush the process, because then you're gonna miss out on all the growth and the progress that you've made because you're so busy thinking about, I want to just be here already, that you're missing out on all the work that you've put in and you're not even acknowledging or recognizing it. So it can really be damaging actually in the process. So what I wish I learned on this journey is that it's okay to slip up and to make those mistakes, or to feel like you've lost your results and you have to start over, because sometimes starting over can be exactly what you need to get even further to your goal. Like, the fact that the gym, one of you guys actually pointed this out, the fact that my old gym, the machine broke, forced me to get uncomfortable and start using the free bar with hip thrust. If that never happened, I probably would have never got uncomfortable to do that. I probably would not have gotten uncomfortable enough to join a bodybuilder gym if my friend didn't ask me to come with her for one workout. Like, those slip-ups and those downfalls happen for a reason, and you just have to kind of accept it, lean into it, and then try something different. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap up my fitness journey over these last 3 years up into current day. And it is emotional when you think about the journey as a whole, and like how my body looks now versus, oh my gosh, how I looked in quarantine. Like, I hate looking at those photos. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I did not like how I felt, because I see the pain and like the uncomfortability I felt in my skin when I look at those photos. I honestly look at myself then and I think like how sad I was, and then, oh my god, I don't want to cry. I look at myself now and like how happy I am in the same body, the same skin that I'm in. Like, the night and the day difference is the transformation for me. And I didn't know I would feel this way 3 years later. But like, I'm just enjoying where I'm at in this space, and I want to protect this space, because out of all the hate that I've gotten and the negativity that I got in my comments in quarantine, like, the workouts you're doing aren't effective, or you have no ass, or you're not going to build a butt, you're just going to give up in 2 months, or what you're doing is not right, or protein powder isn't going to help you, creatine is trash. Okay. But look at where I'm at right now. The results I have are the results that I've wanted, and everything I did then shows now, and it worked for me. That is why it is my journey. That is why it is my experience, because it's what I went through, and I can only speak on that. Like, everyone is going to have a different journey. They're going to have different hiccups. They're going to have different results. They might get results quicker in the 3 years that I did, because I had to go through that learning process, and I'm happy, like I said, that I did, because it brought me to where I'm at and the knowledge that I have now. And I also just want to leave you guys with a huge thank you for coming over to this channel and following me on my fitness journey in a whole new space. I know the transition hasn't been easy. I have content everywhere, and it can be kind of annoying and confusing to keep up with, but I am extremely grateful for the community that we've built over here. In such a short period of time, I've been able to really dive deep and focus on my passion of fitness and sharing my personal experience and continuing on to document this journey and all of that as a whole. And it just means a lot to have people that are in the same mindset, that are also on their own journeys, and us leaning into each other with that motivation and those daily check-ins. Like, it means so much. And we're almost at 4,000 subscribers over here, and I think we've hit over 200,000 views in a couple of months of having this channel, and even just monetizing this channel and being able to collaborate with Gymshark and have a code with them is something I never thought I would have on my fitness journey, because that's what really started my journey and got me excited about it. And having a code with EHP Labs, like being able to collaborate with people that I loved in quarantine, and that being such a big part of my results and my growth and my journey, it's like full circle. And to have you guys here, like to know where I started and to know where we're at, like, it just means a lot. So I had to just make sure that I gave you guys a shout out at the end of this video for that. And I want to continue to post on this channel and document my journey and share everything with you guys, because it means so much to me. So thank you for being here. Thumbs up and subscribe if this is your first time stopping by. It's all things fitness related. I'm trying not to cry. Oh my god. But it seriously means a lot to me to have you guys here, and that's why I'm here at the end of the day. And for those of you that have supported me by just watching these videos or stopping by in the comments and hanging out with me to watch a 20-minute video a day, or if you use my support codes to get discounts, like, that means the most. And I am forever grateful for you guys. So I will be back with a new video very soon. Like I said, I'm about to go to the gym right now to film a gym vlog for you. So definitely stay tuned. I got a lot of videos planned for you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.